This week, we've got announcements from Pioneer with a brand new ultra compact amplifier, Ground Zero with a revised radioactive speaker line, Memphis introducing PRX subwoofers once again, Dynamat with a full year in review, and RDVFL with a brand new radio solution for Bentley Continental. This is CMA Live, brought to you by SiriusXM and sponsored by 5 Axis Innovations. And it starts now. Well, as they say, good things come in small packages, and it looks like the folks at Pioneer have done some engineering ingenuity. Why, you may ask? They are coming out with a ultra compact, super efficient new amplifier, and it's got some pretty nifty features. It's called the GMDX104, and we've got Robert Money from Pioneer joining us. Robert, welcome back to CMA Live. What can you tell us about this new Uber mini amplifier?
Hi, Ben. Pretty excited to be with you and all the people today. Yeah, that is a pretty nice amplifiers. Really compact. We call it ultra compact, but also ultra efficient amplifiers that will bring you a Pioneer lifelike sound quality, because we really made something that is totally different from the typical offer we have on the market with those small footprint amplifiers.
Well, Robert, super excited because I'll tell you what, the compact amplifier market certainly has become more and more important in recent years. You know, space is at a premium, so every manufacturer's out there trying to make things smaller. But let's be honest, not all of them necessarily sound great. There's been some sacrifice when it comes to the sound. And more so than that, efficient amplifiers are playing a key role. So I'm interested to see what this new amplifier looks like and walk us through some of the key features.
Yeah, Ben. So as you mentioned, those small amplifiers are actually a more and more things. So people are looking more and more for those. The problem with the compact amplifiers most of the time is about sound quality. So we address that with the GMDX 104 with different sets of things. The first one is this is a high-res certified amplifiers, and to my knowledge, this is currently the only one on the market for such type of small footprint amplifiers. We also look at the current consumption in a way to be user-friendly or electrical vehicle friendly, and that goes the same way for the new vehicle equipped with auto start-stop features, where the voltage is constantly fluctuating based on if the engine on the car is running or not. So we want to make sure that we are able to tick all the boxes for those needs for the customers.
Robert, I'm very impressed with everything you said, but I really want to zone in on one thing. And not having taken the chance, but this is a key point, guys. For customers that are interested in a high-res certified system, this is now an opportunity to install a tiny amplifier. And we're going to see what this looks like, but that is high-res. So key point here, guys, Pioneer's come out with an ultra-compact, high-res certified amplifier. All right, Robert, I'm sure you have one there. Let's take a peek inside. Let's take a look at what this unit is all about.
Okay, Ben, so here's the nice little amplifier. So as you can see, really nice kind of dull black soft finish with the rose gold accent. And if you look inside the amplifier itself, that is fully packed with crazy stuff for the electronic side. The first thing that you'll notice for sure is the big power supply section in the center that is isolating the power section from the input section for the low voltage section. Massive toroidal for the size of the amplifiers. And you have here a fully symmetric design for the input. So not only for the chip that we use, but also the copper trace on the circuit board that are exactly the same for all 4 channel of this 4x45 watts RMS. So we have the output coil here with the oxygen-free copper coil, really high quality output stage. And we have, of course, an input filter stage for the power supply section. So that piece is able to give you all the power output with a constant power output and sound quality. Again, IRES certified from 10.5 volt to 16 volt. So that is one of the main reasons why we're saying that we're friendly interface for any vehicle with auto start stop features or electrical vehicle. At the same time, we designed this to give you a ultra low noise output. So again, IRIS certified, up to 40 kilohertz of bandwidth, which is twice the bandwidth of typical amplifiers within that type of offer of the market. And we managed the design in a way to give you basically from what we see on the market right now, something that is at least 2 times better in the signal to noise ratio versus our closest competitors in the categories. So this is not only small, this is not only an amplifiers that will have low current consumption, small footprint, as you can see if you compare with my fingers beside it, so really small. Basically, you can fit it in every single place that you can do. So there's basically no heat from it. So it fits in the hole, you install it, hide it, and you enjoy the music.
Well, I think you'll agree with me that seeing the internals of this tiny little amplifier is quite impressive, Robert. Thank you for walking us through that. 2 comments for you at this time. First, let's talk about the heat dissipation. I didn't really notice any real heat sink that was built into the chassis. And second, from an installation perspective, obviously the size is really practical. But what kind of hardware comes with?
Okay, first question, Ben. So the heat dissipation, basically the chassis itself is aluminum heatsink, but there's really no heat from it. So this is why we're calling it ultra efficient. As you can see here, those 2 black squares are the stereo amplifiers. So 142 channel here, 142 channel here, and there's no heatsink on it. So we don't need to. Same thing for the circuitry for the output stage or the drive of the power supply sections. So basically no heat. That's why we call it ultra efficient, and that's why this amplifiers is only showing an average current draw of 1.6 amps while running at 4 ohm 4 channel, like I mentioned. So 4 times 45 watts or 90 watts once bridge. So this is for the first question. The second question, we have the power harnesses here with oxygen-free copper wire. So typically the offer in the market will be aluminum wires. So we use oxygen-free wires, not plated wires. We have the RCA input for a 4-channel mode, for a 2-channel mode, and for the one who are using a source unit that is a OEM source unit, up to 16 volt on high level input for the speaker wires. We have the input wires for the speaker level input on it. So basically, if you're using it with a pre-out source, you will only need male RCA to connect both units. If you are using it with a OEM source or any source without any RCA, you will have all in the box to do the installation.
And there you have it. If you're just tuning in, Pioneer releasing a brand new offering in the ultra compact footprint amplifier category, but this time not only is it compact in size, super efficient, and yes, high res certified. It's called the GMDX 104. Robert, only 2 questions left. When is this available, and where do people need to go for more information?
It's available now. The retail price will be $299 in Canada. And the information for more detail will be available at usa.pioneer. Thank you.
Are you looking for an audio display for your car audio shop? Look no further than 5-Axis. We specialize in audio displays, motorcycle displays, power sports displays, UTV displays. All our displays are custom designed to tailor with your needs. We go anywhere from custom graphics to custom LED panels to fabric posters right above. Visit us on 5AxisInnovations.com or check us out on Facebook or Instagram at 5-Axis Innovations. Or give us a call at 414-326-7162. Look forward to hearing from you.
car audio, you of course have heard of Ground Zero with their amazing offering for just about every type of listener out there. But today, we're going to zone in on a very popular lineup called the Radioactive series. We bring in their Director of Operations, Jacob Brown. Now, Jacob, Radioactive obviously synonymous with your everyday install, very popular, but it's getting a whole new revamp. What can you tell us?
Yeah, Ben, you're absolutely correct in this. And when you say every day, it's still for me really cool because this driver is an everyday type SQ-ish type speaker. And that's really cool with this product line, especially with the updates that we're going to see coming that are going to help with that kind of SQ thought process and personality that these speakers are known for with regard to the everyday customer who's looking for a really killer audio package.
Well, Jacob, we're talking about specifically the GZRF series. And like you said, these are very popular fan favorites, if you will. But I know Ground Zero, and if they're going to do something, they're going to do it right. So I'm expecting to see a couple cool upgrades here, and we're going to go into that. But let's first talk about the different models that are affected with this new revision.
Yeah, you really hit the nail on the head with your last statement, and it's the GZRF series that is going to be affected. So GZRF, or full range, for us is the definition of coax. So what you're going to see here is the 6.5, the 5.25, the 4-inch, and eventually the 6x9 coax models all get updated in the Radioactive family.
All right, so 3 models, obviously popular sizes, and an upcoming 6x9 coming down the pipe. But let's get into the nitty gritty. What exactly are the updates? I hope these aren't just cosmetic, but I know they aren't. So let's get into it. What are some of the specs or improvements that Ground Zero has made to these coaxial speakers?
Yeah, so one of the things that you mentioned a little bit earlier was that if Ground Zero is going to do something, they're going to do it for a reason. And we're not just a company that changes part numbers. So, when we do an update from SQ to SQX, and we're really getting the customer to understand what's important, it's definitely for a reason. So the couple of key upgrades that I really love about what's going on with the new GZRF SQX series of coax is that we've taken the time to update first and foremost kind of the suspension of the driver. We've changed its behavior. We've made the suspension more linear. And what that translates to really is less distortion across the passband of the driver. So what you're going to hear is essentially a smoother, more controlled driver with less distortion caused by kind of suspension issues. The next step and what we're going to now be able to audibly hear is an improved tweeter. It's going to be smoother and coincide with a new upgraded tweeter crossover built in. So now we've taken this kind of more linear suspension and paired it with a smoother tweeter to help, again, the entire passband of this coax behave more controlled and better for the average listener. The third kind of big upgrade that we've done is we've changed some mechanics within the motor structure of this 6.5 or the 5.25 or the 4 or the 6x9 that come later. So by changing around some of the mechanics and adjusting gap in the motor, we've changed kind of motor force and really optimized the driver for better efficiency. And what that's going to mean to me is that you're going to be able to handle power differently. You're going to be able to take advantage of power differently. And it's going to result in an overall better experience on something as simple as a coax.
Well, thank you, Jacob, for explaining some of the cool new features of the new redesigned Radioactive series speakers, more specifically the GZRF and the coaxials. We're talking a brand new updated suspension with the cool red spider. We're talking a redesigned tweeter and an optimized motor efficiency. So that begs the question. In your opinion, Jacob, is this a speaker that's really more meant for kind of like a OE factory replacement kind of deal, or does it want that power to really excel?
It's a good question. And I'm glad you asked because the answer can be yes or no. Really, when you're looking at the level of product that is the Radioactive, I tend to steer away from OE replacement conversations. That's not to say that it's not possible, but it's really going to love aftermarket power. Now, because of how the speaker is designed and what it does, it would be a great rear fill on an aftermarket radio or a factory radio or something like that, where you might not necessarily going to throw aftermarket amplified power at it, but you also don't need it to jump out and grab you emotionally like you would in kind of a front stage of an install. So it's again, to me, the answer is yes and no. It to me depends on the location, the sound signature you're looking for, and it's really going to boil down to, what the customer really loves. But that's also why we have that 3 ohm capability on this driver. So it's going to handle power a little bit better. Similar to our titanium and our iridium, which are kind of the two levels that lead up to radioactive. So we have multiple options for maybe something a little more suited in that OEM replacement process. But I again think this speaker is going to be very enjoyable from a sound perspective on just about anything.
All right, so here's what you need to know. Ground Zero Radioactive Series, brand new revision to the 6.5, the 5.25, the 4-inch, as well as an up-and-coming 6x9. Jacob, last question. What is the price point? Are we seeing an increase in price with all these new features? And when are these available?
Yeah, so it's going to be kind of fun. No, we are not anticipating a price increase. We should be seeing these as an update and not a replacement. And that's really cool for me because, again, we're bringing more to the table and not marking up a product because of it. We really are just bringing an update to the market. Now, as far as bringing that update to the hands of the retailer and the consumer, we're going to see it in stages. So right now we've got the 6.5s inbound. We will see the 5.25s and the 4s shortly. The 6x9 will come a bit later. But we're really trying to do it in order of what we feel is importance. So the 6.5-inch coax, obviously one of the top selling coaxes across the world. So that was the first to hit market. But what you'll see some updates available, especially if you go to the website, groundzerousa.com. As things become available, boom, you will see the releases there. You'll see product launches kind of through our social media and be able to really follow the development of this product.
Hi, Paul Truman here with SiriusXM. We reached out to some of our partners in the industry, and here's what they had to say.
I can't say more or enough about just what it means to have our unit working with SiriusXM. It's like we're there now.
The SiriusXM service is something consumers want, right? So it's Paul.
That allows a consumer to listen to either podcasts, entertainment, sports, all at their fingertips. It's all about engagement, and that's what SiriusXM provides.
SiriusXM is a huge component in a vehicle nowadays. Consumers expect that technology to be available both in our OEM system as well as the aftermarket upgrades that they're applying to their vehicle.
Alpine and SiriusXM, through our electronics, are able to offer the consumer on the aftermarket side SiriusXM 360L, which is an expanded platform for SiriusXM. And it's really been a beneficial relationship for us with SiriusXM.
As a dealer, just remember, we don't compete with anybody else. We are absolutely one of the best profitability accessories you can add to any head unit that is SiriusXM ready.
Now, if you've been a follower of Memphis Audio, then you know that the PRX line has been the go-to bread and butter series for so many dealers. It's that one step up that provides incredible performance at a great price. Now, recently at SEMA, some updates came to the PRX subwoofers. We go now to their president, Nick LaMonaco. Nick, this was kind of cool, and I'm not going to lie, goes with your DNA with LED as a new option. What can you tell us?
Yeah, Ben, at SEMA, we introduced our new PRX subwoofer line. And one of the options, of course, like you mentioned, is LEDs. So very excited about it.
Well, surprise, surprise, Memphis put some LEDs on subwoofers. Of course, everybody loves LEDs. Got some questions for you, of course, Nick. So let's hear about which sizes of subwoofer have this available option for lights. And would you happen to have one to show us what this looks like?
Yeah, Ben, as you can see here, I'm holding the new PRX L 12-inch, where we have the LED option in the 10 and 12-inch. You see the beautiful RGB LED ring. And this is what we call dummy LED. So any RGB controller will power it. Our Bluetooth controller will work. Not that you'd want to use anyone else's Bluetooth controller, RGB controller, but you can. So any RGB Bluetooth controller will work, any color out there. And right now is available on the 10 and 12. Other sizes probably coming later. And as we know, the LEDs are going to add 3 to 6 dB. So in addition to being more power, these also will be 3 to 6 dB louder when you turn the LEDs on.
Now, there you have it, a quick look at the brand new PRX subwoofers from Memphis Audio, now featuring an option to get both 10-inch and 12-inch with LED options. Now, another cool thing that you may have missed if you weren't at SEMA is the upgrade or update, I should say, to the Memphis patented flex technology. If you haven't heard about that, well, it's really genius actually. With one subwoofer, you're able to select between two different impedance loads. Well, Memphis is taking up one notch further and now is offering a new and improved 3 load selector.
Yeah, Ben, our flex technology has been innovative for a while. We had jumpers on there to move between 2 and 4 ohm, but now the new PRX subs feature the 3 impedance technology, and it's really simple to do. The most simple way ever. You just pull this jumper out and move it between 1, 2, or 4 ohm. It's written right there on the sub, so it's really easy, really hard to screw up. I'm sure someone will, but call tech support if you do. And then on top of that, with this awesome 3 impedance woofer, amp on that side is when the LED is off, you can't see it. You don't know that this is an LED woofer when you don't have it plugged in. So it's super cool that you have an LED woofer when it's in your trunk. When you turn it off, you don't know it's on. And then combined with the LEDs, adding 3 to 6 dB, power increase to 400 watts for the 10 and 12. There's no other woofer on the planet where you can switch the impedance with the move of a jumper.
To be honest, Nick, I don't know why it's taken so long for somebody to figure that out. This is fantastic from a dealer standpoint for inventory. Now you've got one driver that can handle either 1, 2, or 4 ohms, depending on the system build that you're doing. So, two things. First of all, which subwoofers have that? I would imagine the 8, the 10, and the 12. And more importantly, you mentioned something. These subwoofers have an increase in power handling from the previous generation from 300 watts to now 400 watts. Can you give us some detail as to how you made that happen?
Yeah, Ben, the 3 woofers that got the new jumper technology are the 8, the 10, and the 12-inch woofer. The 8-inch woofer still kept 2 impedance at 2 and 4 ohm, but still with that super easy jumper. But the 10 and 12, they're the ones that got the upgrade to the 3 impedance with the jumper, and they got the 100-watt increase from 300 watts RMS power handling to now 400 watts. And we're able to do that by giving a bigger voice coil, thicker gauge wire on the voice coil, and higher temp insulation. So just a little bit of engineering in there to get the power handling up 33%. I mean, who doesn't love 33% on top of the LED version having 3 to 6 dB more output? I mean, you're getting an incredibly awesome looking woofer and now significantly louder and more power handling.
And there you have it. If you're tuning in, we're talking Memphis Audio with a brand new revised version of their very popular PRX series of subwoofers available in 8, 10, and 12. 10 and 12-inch models available with the new LED option, as well as featuring this brand new 3-way flex technology for impedance selection on the 10 and 12 models that give you both 1, 2, and 4 ohm. Pretty darn nifty. More power handling to 400 watts. Last question for you, Nick. When can we start seeing these in stores, and where should people go to get more info?
The non-LED versions of the 10 and 12 should be in stores in the next few weeks. I would say end of December, early January. And the LED versions will probably be here at end of February, early March. So get excited because they are going to be here soon. And for more information about all that stuff, go to memphiscaraudio.com.
CE Outlook is dedicated to keeping the car audio and electronics industry informed on the latest issues, trends, and product releases. New feature stories posted daily. Visit ceoutlook.com for the latest industry news. Now, another brand that had an incredible showing at SEMA this year was, of course, Dynamat, the OG when it comes to sound damping. But not only was it a huge year for Dynamat unveiling new product that we're going to get into, they had some pretty impressive partnerships when it comes to vehicle builds. We go now to their VP of Sales, Edward Shelton, joining us. Now, Eddie, this was a huge event for Dynamat at SEMA. What was the overall vibe like?
Well, man, the vibe was definitely very high, even higher than last year. We had some great partnerships this year that we had some great builds in our booth. It was great to see all the automotive fans, and just all around. It was certainly felt like a much better year this year than even last year, which was also great. So overall, it always seems like SEMA's kind of the wrap to the automotive year, if you will, and it was a great one for us.
Well, if you've been following along or saw any coverage from SEMA Show, then you know that Dynamat certainly had a bunch of surprises in their booth. We're going to break that down for you right now, just in case you missed it. First of all, let's talk about that crazy Beetle that Kindig brought out.
Yeah, that's right, Ben. Dave's Beetle was really really cool. Of course, Dave Kindig always builds great rides from Bitchin' Rides. This one was his personal, and as he usually does, he left the interior out, and he chose to use our new Pro X product that we just launched this year in the entire interior. This build is Dave's own color, the Bering Sea Blue, that he likes to combine with the matte gold on the wheels. So all around, it's certainly the most bitchin' Beetle that you've ever seen.
You know, Eddie, whenever it comes to Dave Kindig and his crew, they never disappoint. So no doubt that was a huge attraction in the Dynamat booth. But another one, I got to say, personally, this one just blew my mind. I'm a big fan of custom. I'm a big fan of carbon fiber. And this ride had it all. It's coming to you from Blazing Rods. They called it the Doughboy. Not sure what the name is referring to, but tell me about this vehicle.
Yeah, Ben, the Blazing Rods Chevelle build was amazing, and it did pull a huge crowd at SEMA. And really, this build, it was the details that really made it so cool. When you look at it, it's certainly, you can tell it's custom. There's so much of it that's actually cut from billet. It's got a monstrous engine putting out like 2,800 horsepower. And just the details of all the different aluminum billet parts that they had on it. The big part of the exhaust was 3D printed. Definitely one of the most impressive rides that I saw there, and a lot of people said the same. As far as that being a wild build, it was definitely at the top of all the cars you could choose from at SEMA. Now, for the Dynamat that was used in this build, of course, they applied it all over the interior onto the sheet metal when they were in the beginning of the build. But they also did something really cool. They put our Dynaliner product on the trunk and then laser cut Blazing Rods into it. And this is actually a series that's going to be coming out, right? I think actually came out with SEMA. But really, just the overall details of this build. Really, really cool.
Well, what can I say? If you were lucky enough to be at SEMA and you got to get into the Dynamat booth, and obviously you were treated to some wicked rides. But I'll tell you what, not only did you have great presence within your booth, there were rides all over the show that had Dynamat on it. One that I really drew my attention was from the Ring Brothers. I think it's a Grand National, but I'm going to count on you to give us more details.
Yeah, that's right. That the Ring Brothers build, the Buick GNX, was pretty impressive. That's always been a car that stuck out to me when I was growing up. But the Ring Brothers are a great partner. They obviously do some of the best builds, and that Buick GNX was one of the impressive ones from that era, using really a kind of an iconic car from the 80s. I used to always watch those going down the street and wanted one. But yeah. The Ring Brothers unveil was definitely impressive, and I'm proud to say that Dynamat's all over SEMA on almost all those high-end builds.
Well, those are just three examples of the presence that Dynamat has at each and every SEMA. This year was certainly no exception. But what a big year it's been for Dynamat, Eddie. And I just want to circle back real quick. Two products that really broke the barrier, kind of game changer type products. One, of course, was the introduction of the new Pro X, which we saw in almost every build this year. And a really cool toolkit that I really want to remind dealers. It's an amazing value add-on for something that, well, not only works, but it's pretty nifty as well.
That's right, Ben. We launched the Pro X this year. It is the new king of all sound deadeners. We tested it against everything in the market, and it is the best performing sound deadener out there. We also launched our toolkit. I can show you this right here, the Dynamat toolkit for pulling off all those panels on your car when you're applying it on all your projects. So these two products have just launched this year. They've been really great launches for us, very popular products, and very effective.
And there you have it, guys. That's Edward Shelton, the VP of Sales for Dynamat. Again, last thing I want to ask you, Eddie, I have some rumors going around that there's some new stuff coming up from Dynamat. When can we expect some news? And where should people go to stay tuned with what's going on with Dynamat?
Well, we've got a lot of product development going on in the background. I really can't get too much into the details because it's all kind of in its infancy right now, but we do plan on releasing some new products in 2025. You're going to see a lot of the kits that I've been talking about We're gonna launch all of those in 2025 and more as we can. And we've got a lot of other things coming for our dealers. We've got new POP coming, new table mats, all those great marketing items that you can have in your dealership so that everybody knows that you're a proud dealer of Dynamat. And stay tuned to our website, dynamat.com. That's where we'll be updating everyone with all the new products, the new POP, and anything else, any other news that's coming out.
There's an incredibly strong network of distributors across Canada, and today we're here at CMA Expo to speak with them and get a sense of how they feel about their partnership with SiriusXM.
SiriusXM helps connect our industry because we are reproducing music. We are delivering content in a different way. We deliver hard parts to consumer. They deliver us the content on those hard parts.
It's a great add-on for the head unit sale, and it's pretty much just a natural addition now to offer it to the customer after they purchase a new head unit for their car.
As a distributor of SiriusXM, we all benefit. As partners, they offer and bring to the table the love of music. We're all in this industry because ultimately we love music.
They've been a great partner, and they've actually created a lot of excitement again in the industry.
It really brings the whole industry together, and it's music-based. It's great. You know, that's what we do. We sell music. They provide content. It's fabulous.
So long ago that RDV Technologies came up with many solutions when it comes to replacing radios in very unique vehicles. Well, today is no exception as they are releasing a brand new application, but this time for the 2004 to 2018 Bentley Continental. We have the president, Rich Disclafani, joining us now. Rich, this is something of a category that RDVFL seems to be growing in. So what is all this hype about for this new Continental model?
Thanks, Ben. Yeah, we're really excited to be able to introduce this brand new radio replacement platform for the Bentley Continental vehicles. So really excited about this one.
Now, Rich, this is not your first time on CMA Live introducing new products. So, of course, by now, I'm going to have a list of expectations when it comes to feature set. Of course, I want to give you every opportunity to talk about this, but I can only imagine that this is going to be rich in features and really made for that customer who's looking to upgrade, but also maybe to be able to system build. Can you tell us more?
Yeah, and actually, this is not our first radio replacement for Bentley. This is going to be available alongside our current offering for Bentley, but this is a little bit of a different philosophy as far as the radio replacement goes. So this one, which we have right here, is really amazing because this is an actual, radio replacement that mimics and looks exactly like the OEM system. So you have the trim that would go on top. I only have two hands, so I can only hold two pieces at a time. But you have these OEM AC heater controls, all analog with buttons and everything, with a digital display on the buttons here. And then you have this 10.9-inch screen, which is beautiful. And it basically gives you the OEM look and fit and finish with a massive upgrade with all of the features like wireless CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, front and rear camera inputs. And this will even give you an HDMI output, and will also give you a digital Toslink output, and also gives you a coax output as well for audio. So really, really, really nice, solid radio with digital audio output. So when you're upgrading the sound system in those cars, you get really, really high quality audio coming directly out of the radio.
All right, so if you're just tuning in, we've got Rich Disclafani from RDVFL announcing a brand new solution for Continental from Bentley 2004 to 2018. Now, I know what you're thinking. How often does a Bentley customer roll into my shop? Well, this is the trick when it comes to, this is what I've learned with RDV, is that you can't sell it if you're not aware of it. So this is it, a brand new solution. Now, I want to ask you a couple of questions here. Of course, I'm going to guess that this is going to be Android based, so a lot of features and functionality even beyond just Apple CarPlay, right, Rick?
Absolutely. This radio is packed with features and does tons of stuff. It does run Android, so you are able to download any video streaming apps you want to it, like YouTube, Hulu, Netflix, Sling. You can pretty much stream any video content you want directly from the radio itself. It'll take a SIM card, so it always has internet connection, which will allow you to do wireless CarPlay and stream video simultaneously. And it also gives you the ability to, download offline maps, and you can use offline maps if you're traveling through, really remote areas, which I don't know how often you do that in your Bentley, but you have the availability and the option to use those offline map features and use all of those video streaming features as well that are all built into the radio. So really, really big infotainment upgrade that does a ton of stuff.
Rich, it always shocks me that a vehicle of that level at that price point doesn't come with some of the features that, a lot of these less expensive modern vehicles are coming with. So this is a great upgrade for those Bentley owners. The other thing I want to highlight there is you mentioned Toslink output. This is a vehicle which from the get-go is challenging to integrate into, but here comes along a great solution. Not only do you have a great interface and an upgrade with features, but now you have a platform to upgrade the sound system.
Absolutely. That is definitely one of the vehicles that is really, really sought after as far as audio upgrades. Some of the vehicles are a little older, so some of the factory components are probably antiquated and don't even work properly. So yeah, this really gives you the ability to install a really high-end, really high sound quality install stereo system using Toslink out right from the head unit. So you get full digital, high-res audio directly from the radio to your DSP.
And there you have it, guys. RDVFL launching a brand new solution for a Bentley Continental 2004 to 2018. It's an all-in, beautiful screen, beautiful interface, Android-based. Of course, Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and yeah, a Toslink out for you to build that system of your dreams. Last question for you, Rich. When is this available? What kind of price point are we looking at? And where do people go for more info?
So this radio is available now, and also touching on the Toslink output, this also works with the factory amplifier. So you don't have to worry about adding amps. It'll work with all the factory amplifier packages. It is available now, and you're looking at a 3-year warranty on this product, and it's $3,000. So you can get them from my website or from your local retailer. Reach out to rdvfl.com, and we will get you set up.
And that's a wrap on this edition of CMA Live, presented by SiriusXM and sponsored by 5-Axis Innovations. Make sure to check out all our videos at cmanetworks.com. I'm your host, Ben Wu. We'll see you next Saturday.
There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM with over 150 channels in your vehicle. Your Platinum Plan offer includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels and enjoy favorite shows with SiriusXM video